Although it is bright and beautiful out here and we're going to have a great weekend, the storms will come rolling in to kick off your work week, and I'll tell you more coming up next. Small businesses in Columbia, like the White Duck Taco Shop, face a lot of competition. In order to stay ahead of the game, they have to adjust their business techniques in order to meet consumer needs. A moped is not considered a motorized vehicle in the state of South Carolina. People without a license can operate a moped on a public roadway, creating a loophole for people with DUIs or other impairments on their license. It was a huge weekend for University of South Carolina alum Wesley Bryan. Bryan collected his first ever PGA win yesterday at the RBC Heritage, parring holes 17 and 18 to beat Luke Donald by one shot. Bryan will go down as the first ever South Carolina native to win this tournament. This is the scene where the assault occurred the night of the St. Patrick's Day Festival. I've contacted poorhouse officials, but no one will comment on the incident. Riding a moped might seem like a fun way to get around on a nice day, but they are actually one of the leading causes of accidents in South Carolina.
We've found from the Public Safety Department that there are an awful lot of accidents occurring on the highways in South Carolina involving moped.
Most of these accidents are occurring when the operator is under the influence.
Especially when I first started to learn how to drive the moped, it was definitely something that you have to get used to. It's not just like riding a bike, so whenever you drink, it definitely impairs your senses enough to where you should not be on the road.
A moped is not considered a motorized vehicle in the state of South Carolina. People without a license can operate a moped on a public roadway, creating a loophole for people with DUIs or other impairments on their license.
It creates an exception where there really shouldn't be one, and it makes it very dangerous, not only for the operator of the moped, but for people who are out there on the highway as well, who are not expecting the moped to be there and don't have any real warning of it.
Several legislatures are currently attempting to pass a law in South Carolina to where mopeds would be considered a motor vehicle. The driver would have to hold a current license and be responsible for actions while driving the moped.
I think that having a DUI on a moped is actually very serious, and if you continue to get drunk on the road and you've been reduced to a moped because you cannot drive a car, then I think if you continue to do so, you shouldn't have that right as well.
If this law is passed, it will close up a dangerous loophole and make the roads safer for everyone. Kelsey Barnette, Carolina News. Small businesses in Columbia face several struggles. The White Duck Taco Shop on Whaley Street relies on its originality to separate itself from other competitors.
Kind of try to have a unique sort of setting and a unique kind of, take on food in general. And we're trying to do other stuff outside of the actual the shop here.
General Manager Kurt Heine understands that in order to do well in this market, it takes more than just good food. According to District Administrator of Small Businesses, Elliot Cooper, here are the keys to building a successful business.
Well, a good business plan and stick to it, and you've got to constantly revise it. If things change, if products change, locations change, and things of that nature. You got to give fair and good service.
Small businesses in Columbia, like the White Duck Taco Shop, face a lot of competition. In order to stay ahead of the game, they have to adjust their business techniques in order to meet consumer needs. Small businesses are working to make changes in order to serve their community.
Trying to cater to different demographics within Columbia, from military to law enforcement to, business people to college students.
Cooper says that the one thing that small businesses have on their side is service and staying current with what the people want.
It might be, 10 years ago tacos weren't a big thing. They're a big thing now. Things change, markets change.
The White Duck, as well as other small businesses in Columbia, are adjusting to the new times in order to stay in business. Kelsey Barnette, Carolina News. This is a Snapchat video It was taken the night that Ryan Chisholm was assaulted in the 5 Points bar poorhouse.
He couldn't speak, he couldn't communicate what had happened to him, and there were a bunch of people trying to talk for him.
14 stitches later, Chisholm fractured his jaw and many of his teeth were damaged when they were forced up into his gums. Chisholm told police that he was trying to break up a fight when he was forced out of the bar by security. Once he was outside of the bar, Chisholm said a large white male put him in a chokehold, leaving him unconscious. This is the scene where the assault occurred the night of the St. Patrick's Day Festival. I've contacted poorhouse officials, but no one will comment on the incident. Chisholm's friend, Daniel Glover, came to poorhouse after the assault happened. He couldn't believe that something like this would hit so close to home.
And that's the thing, I've seen, like you said, plenty of people get thrown out. I've seen fights break out, this, that, and the third, but I've never seen something to that extent to where no one did anything at the time. No one got involved, no one tried to stop anything, and that's kind of what the frustrating part was. It was like a spectacle almost, and there was like a ring of people around just letting it happen.
Glover also says that instances like this aren't unusual, but this time seemed a little different.
It was wild when we first got there, just because he doesn't seem like that type of person at all. Not wanting to get into a fight, really not wanting to cause that much trouble. So it didn't sit right initially when we first got there that he had been involved in some kind of altercation.
The Columbia Police Department is investigating Ryan's case. They are currently gathering information from witnesses and other surveillance video. Kelsey Barnette, Carolina News.